Our tastes in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Your mother ate my dog.
Oh, that's by memory. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast. Episode 23. Right? 23?
Yep, I think so.
This is going to be an action-packed episode.
Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about, not only for the movie that we've picked, which was an exercise in mind blownness.
Yep.
But I got some cool segments that I wanted to
I live for these segments, Josh. So
we have some familiar segments from the past, and then we got a few new ones as well.
Oh, are we going to beat our record from last week's episode? We had like 6 segments. You think we're going to beat that?
1, 2, 3, 4. I think we have maybe 5 or 6 segments this time.
I love it.
The first segment, before we get too deep into it, is guess which one of us is sick. So there's a time limit just until the end of the episode, and then whoever I have a toll-free number that I'll give out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then whoever texts that number the correct answer, which one of us, I'm Josh, you're Jesse, which one of us is sick, they'll win a prize. Much like the follower of the week, we'll just mail them a nice little prize.
Oh, that's exciting. Can I enter this this poll?
No, you and Greg are banned from entering because you know the answer. Okay. Already. So how are you feeling without giving the answer away?
I feel fantastic. How do you feel?
I feel really, really good too.
Well, it's a mystery. We don't want to just give it away.
No, I got a cool little setup. I noticed last week I've been relegated to the bedroom, so I'm lying on the bed, and there was a lot of like ruffling of me, like moving my microphone a little bit.
Yeah, I can still hear it a little bit.
Well, I have it propped up on a book. So I'm not moving. I'm not moving it as well. I'm still on the bed. Maybe if I'm moving.
Mm-hmm. But yes, blankets. It's noticeably not as noticeable.
Okay. Well, do you know what else is pretty noticeable?
What's that?
It's the good news of the week. That's segment 2.
Thank goodness! Thank goodness.
Good news of the week. Just 2 news stories this week.
Okay.
There's a theme though. I'll see if you can catch the theme.
Okay.
We'll start with the first one. The title of this article is "Firefighters Save Kitten Stuck in an ATM," and his new name is Cash. Cats are known for getting themselves stuck in all manner of places, but for the staff at Fort Smith Animal Haven, an ATM was a first. A gray tabby had to be withdrawn from an ATM. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
By Fort Smith Fire Department in Arkansas. Oh, that's a state?
Yes.
Or is that a city? After someone probably heard a meow inside the machine. After arriving at the shelter, Cash surprised everyone with his story. Adorable.
That is adorable.
So a tabby cat stuck in an ATM, out now, probably had a name, but now has a new name because of the connection.
That reminds me of American Psycho. Seen that movie?
Yes, I have seen that movie.
I swear there's a scene where he's at the ATM and he's like hallucinating, and it like tells him to kill a cat or something. Am I making that up?
I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that.
Anyway, that kind of took a turn. I don't want it to go to that dark sort of place. So hit me with another good news story.
Okay, second and last news story of the day. So that one, the first one was from July 13th, 2022.
Okay, recent.
Which literally today as we're recording this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This second one comes from July 4th, 2022. So a little more than a week ago.
Okay.
Firefighters came to the rescue of a kitten trapped in a Walmart Pepsi machine.
Oh.
So yeah, you might
They're
notice
getting
the
around.
theme there.
Is it the same cat? You think?
Nope, it's in Tennessee. This Walmart.
Tennessee and Arkansas are pretty close to one another.
Sure, but unlikely the cat traveled. A tiny blue-eyed kitten was saved thanks to a Walmart employee who happened to hear the thing meowing from the depth of a soft drink vending machine of all places. Lindsay Russell, who works at the Morristown, Tennessee Walmart, tried all throughout her lunch hour to rescue the animal after hearing its cries for help from inside the store. Long story short, they got the cat out, and they called it
Pepsi.
Pepsi, Pep, whatever you like to call her. She's got a few nicknames now. Russell said, so less cool than
I guess
Cash.
if
But
you just got to put in a bunch of change and just keep ordering Pepsis until the cat pops out, I suppose.
I suppose.
Well, I love me a traveling cat story, and that cat surely gets around.
So yeah, that was your good news of the week for episode 23.
I love it.
Now this is when I open the floor to you. If you have anything, any cool things you want to talk about?
Any cool things I want to talk about?
Cool things, dumb things, anything really as I transition into the next
I see.
segment.
So basically, you want me to sort of fill space while you transition to the next segment.
I just don't want it to seem like I'm the one who's taking control. If you really want to talk about something,
Well, I'm happy if you take control. You know, I'm a scatterbrain. You sort of reel me in, I guess. I'm not really a scatterbrain. I don't know why I said that. No, really, I have nothing exciting to talk about.
well, with that on that note, how about we get to our good deed of the week, which is the follower of the week.
Oh, this is my favorite segment. It never disappoints.
I think you say that every time.
Well, I just want to make sure people know. I want to make sure Greg knows.
Maybe one day he'll be the follower of the week.
Maybe.
I can tell you right now, it's not this week.
Okay. We'll sort of just tease him with it, and yeah. But anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Our follower of the week this week goes to an actual human being. Unlike last week, if you missed the episode last week, it went to a car.
Right.
This week, Andrea Rose is our follower of the week. Her handle is ARSANDELL. Arsandel? I don't know what that stands for.
Arsandel.
Sure. Her description in her biography on Instagram.com is hashtag award-winning actress, and then has a link to her profile, maybe like her agency profile,
Mm-hmm.
and then like a phone number for bookings.
Oh.
Andrea Rose has almost 3,000 posts, 2,500 followers, but she follows 5,800 people. Bit of a red flag.
That's a lot of people to follow.
It is a lot of people to follow.
Compared to how many are following them.
She posts a lot of pictures of herself.
I can see that. I'm on their page as well right now.
Including rehearsal of a character.
Mm-hmm.
Which I haven't, she might be British. I'm starting to see some British words here.
Some British words?
Some British words. It would appear that we have engaged in...
Yes, 100%. I remember this person.
Well, because you were like, oh, this is going to be a good follower of the week.
Exactly.
But yeah, congratulations to Andrea Rose.
And we'll be sending you a free gift.
We're going to be sending her a part in a television or movie for her. It probably a small part.
Small part in a television.
A television or a movie. She's available for hashtag film, hashtag TV, hashtag live immersive. So that's what we'll be sending you. It could be anything, really. Any part, big or small.
We'll be talking to you.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I love these segments. I have to say it again, just to really iterate on that fact.
Lisa the Impala last week, Andrew Rose this week. It's an exciting time to be a follower of Your Mother Ate My Dog. Okay. Well, time flies, huh?
It sure does.
We might as well use this time to jump into our next segment.
Segment number 3.
Which is the movie of the week. Don't worry, I have a few other segments planned for the end of the episode. So let's just jump into the movie of the week.
So the movie of the week is the movie we watch for the podcast. It's not a separate segment. Like, you don't want me to just pick a random movie and name it the movie of the week.
No, we have a movie of the week, which is a movie that we watched.
Okay.
Which is why the podcast exists.
Can I pick a movie of the week that isn't the movie for the podcast?
Yeah, you can pick a random movie of the week. That's not the movie of the week, but we had to change the segment name.
No, so this is the movie of the week.
But then what do we call the actual movie of the week? The podcast movie of the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so our new segment, movie of the week. For this week, we're going to choose Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that was our movie of the week. Now,
movie of the week.
Now to the podcast movie of the week. This week, we watched a movie that I think everybody should be familiar with if you're not already familiar with. It's a meta movie at its finest. It's being John Malkovich. 1999, starring John Cusack, Cameron Diaz, Catherine Keener, and John Malkovich.
Of course.
I already feel like I know how you'll feel about this movie, but maybe why don't you get us started?
You do know me very well, so I bet what you think I'm going to think of this film is probably pretty accurate. Now, this is one of those films that, like you said, everyone's heard of. And also, I've seen snippets of it on cable. Like, I feel like this movie was on cable all the time. And so I remember, like, the 7.5 floor and, like, the wormhole to go into John Malkovich's head. I remembered those parts. Do you have, like, sort of like a similar thing, like maybe catching part of this on cable?
I think I watched the trailer before watching the movie because I'm like, have I seen this movie before? And like the trailer looked very familiar,
right?
But I'm pretty certain that I have not seen the movie.
I think this is definitely one that you'll remember that you've watched.
Yeah.
I also remembered the monkey. It was weird. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things in this movie. I don't know if you noticed that.
That I did have a note that said a lot of weird stuff in this.
That's one of your notes. A lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, almost verbatim there.
That's a good note. It's true. And I feel for like part of this film while I was watching, I'm like trying to make sense of all of it. Like, okay, what's this mean? What's this mean? I don't think it meant anything. I think it was just being weird. Were you able to pick up on any sort of like deeper meaning other than just like being weird?
The only okay. There was the puppet situation.
Mm-hmm.
John Cusack, Craig Schwartz, puppeteer. Really loved being a puppeteer, and that was kind of behind his whole motivation to do this, was to be a famous puppeteer. So like him being a puppeteer at the beginning, and then also puppeteering John Malkovich when he was inside of his brain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that had a deeper meaning. But then you have like the receptionist, what's her name, Flores or something?
Yeah.
Who just couldn't, like, it was always spitting out different things.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with anything. And then And then you had the old guy, Doctor
Lester.
Lester, who was kind of a wingbat, and then you kind of learn more about him towards the end, which I enjoyed, but
Hmm.
nothing meant anything. Like there was no deep. I don't think this movie had a deep meaning.
No, it wasn't like. Yeah, it was weirdly like meta, but also not meaningful. Yeah, I liked Flores. She was pretty funny. Like just not being able to hear anything anyone was saying. I don't know. That was kind of a funny thing to put in. I did like the puppeteering actually. Like especially the first scene. I'm like, oh, this is actually. I've never really, I guess, like appreciated puppeteering, if you will. But it actually was well done. Although the only thing I could think of the whole time was Team America World Police.
They were. I did have the same thought. This had to come before Team America,
Oh
but
yes,
the puppets were identical. Probably they're probably done by the same people, I would assume.
they did seem pretty similar. But it did kind of like having seen Team America World Police and like how ridiculous that movie is. All I can think of was were those puppets, and then having to watch this. Like I guess if there was any sort of seriousness about it, it was a little bit lost on me. Just because I couldn't help but think about Team America World Police.
I think it's fair to have watched this movie and not taken anything of substance, like any deeper meaning out of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you heard that John Cusack's character was named Craig, did you automatically think of our old friend Craig, who we no longer talk about, or two?
I can't say that I did actually.
That's all I thought about. Craig.
Good old Craig.
It was a brave move by John Malkovich to allow this movie to go through and like participate as much as he did, because this could have gone real bad for him.
Yeah, it was like an interesting. It was cool seeing somebody play a character like that. There's not a lot of movies, although I think I mentioned this last week. A lot of movies where like actors play themselves, and especially in a way that's just like self-deprecating, I guess. But it was an interesting role, and the most interesting role I thought in the film.
According to John Malkovich, the only thing about that role, about the character that he played, that was the same, like that was John Malkovich, was his wardrobe.
Oh yeah,
he apparently doesn't act like that. He just came into it as he would any role, any fictional character role.
right.
But he wears on clothes. Was there anything that you didn't like about the movie?
Sorry, anything I didn't like about the movie?
Yeah, because I feel like we're just going to talk about the things we liked about the movie, so I might as well get the things we didn't like.
I mentioned the chimp. The chimp was like a pretty annoying. Like, I mean, like, I don't understand why it was there. Like, I guess was it supposed to be funny? I guess, but you know the sound of like a chimp, you know, like screaming. I hate that sound. So I didn't like that very much. And also, Catherine Keener's character, Maxine, she was like, her character was like supposed to be dry and like annoying. I think that was kind of like what they were going, but like for John Cusack's character, Craig, like you could tell like every interaction he had with her, it was just like frustrating. But then like I became frustrated with her character. She was kind of like annoying. I don't know. I don't know if you felt the same way.
I was going to say that for the acting score, but I definitely thought the same. About Maxine, but the monkey, I thought that was like a character thing for Lottie, Cameron Diaz's character, because she's big into animals, which that's kind of just like a throwaway thing at the beginning. It didn't really play into her character or character development at all. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that monkey was having flashbacks.
Yeah, that part was
But,
weird as well. I don't really get
okay.
it. I don't really get it. But I will say this movie. One thing that I found quite funny about this movie was when somebody said something outlandish, or like just made absolutely no sense. Characters would never question what people said; they would just kind of like accept it. Like when Craig found out about this portal, it's like, "Oh, Maxine, there's this portal in this door behind you. It goes into John Malkovich." She's like, "Oh, really? Cool." And she like just accepts it. But that happens. That sort of interaction happens throughout this whole thing. Just people are. No one is surprised by anything that would clearly be impossible. Just like, oh yeah, okay.
It's a wacky world, and then they just get shot out somehow and land by a highway.
By the New Jersey Turnpike.
I did quite like that.
It was a kooky film.
Kooky film for sure. I do.
What was that?
Are you asking me? That was not on my side.
I know it was on my side, but I just like heard somebody, but I don't know, somebody outside, I guess.
What's up? What's up? Having some fights.
There's a lot going on in my space right now.
There's a we live in a building that's right beside another building, and there's like
Really?
it's like, yeah, so two apartments beside each other. They're
Yep.
separate. They're separate buildings. And so we're on that side. We have our balcony on that side, and there's a couple on the other side who constantly yell at each other.
Oh.
And then when the guy's not home, the girl sings to herself. Is just very loud on the phone. Like, doesn't care about anybody else. There was a baby crying, and she screamed out her window for the baby to shut up. We have daily interactions. Not like we don't talk to her, but she gives us entertainment every single day. There is no day off.
It's nice having those people around, to give you entertainment. People are just revving their motorcycles out here, and good Lord.
This podcast has been as crazy as Being John Malkovich, 1999.
Really, it
John
has.
Malkovich.
Your story reminds me of when we used to live together. Do you remember, like, our neighbors?
Like neighbors who lived in the same house?
Yeah, like we're the other basement suite.
Yeah.
They were just so loud, and they would argue. But we were too, like, accommodating to ever say anything about it. Remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
Except that one time I turned my stereo system, like I put the speakers on the wall and blasted music. That's as close as we got to doing anything about it.
So passive aggressive.
Honestly. I felt good about it. So yeah, this will teach him.
Okay, well, Being John Malkovich, the movie, the podcast movie of the week. Anything else?
Movie of the week, yes.
Anything else we can say about it? It was a wild movie. If you haven't already seen it, go see the movie.
Nothing.
2 hours.
And it's on Amazon Prime. Actually, no, it's not.
Was it?
I mean, you can rent it from there, but you can't, like, it's not you don't get it with Prime or anything like that.
I had a VHS copy of Being John Malkovich. Popped in. It still worked pretty well.
A VHS copy.
VHS copy. There was a. You know how on VHSs sometimes they have like ads for movies beforehand?
Yes.
There was an ad for a one of those old movies. Do you remember Mighty Joe Young, the gorilla movie? There was an ad for Mighty Joe Young, the 1998 film. Made me really want to watch the film. I didn't though, but and then remember that other monkey movie, Dustin checks in. Dun.
No,
somebody checks in. Checks in monkey, maybe if I look it up. Dunstan checks in. That movie that movie came out in 96. That doesn't make any sense why that would be on there. The 1999 movie.
That is strange.
But Dunstan checks in. Great movie.
There appears to be a monkey theme this week.
Jason Alexander, Rupert Everett, some heavy hitters.
Is Dunstan Checks In your movie of the week?
Dunstan Checks In is my movie of the week.
This was your way of sort of revealing it. I see what you've done.
Thank you. So, what kind of expectation do you have for this movie?
The only real expectation I had about this film was that it was supposed to be weird, and it was. So it met my expectations in that way, I suppose. Do you have any sort of preconceived notions about this film yourself?
I thought it was going to be weird, and it was weird. So yeah, met my expectation in that aspect. Well, I didn't think it'd be that weird. Maybe it exceeded my expectations.
It was a little weirder than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more like, okay, I found this portal to John Malkovich, and now like this is really serious and messed up. But it's more like people were just kind of joking about it, and it was just like a kooky, funny movie instead of a serious movie.
Roger Ebert gave the film 4 out of 4 stars.
Oh.
He would later name it the best film of 1999.
Yeah, when I see the Rotten Tomatoes review of this film, I'm a little surprised.
You don't think it's 94% worthy?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself and just reveal my score for the film, but it's not that high.
In the 72nd Academy Awards, which happened in the year 2000, this film nominated for 3 Oscars.
Okay, don't tell me.
Okay.
I don't think. Stop. I don't think any of them are going to be for an actor or an actress. Maybe. No, it wouldn't be John Cusack. No, the acting. John Malkovich, maybe? Okay. No. Just tell me.
Best Director.
Okay.
It lost to Sam Mendes, who directed American Beauty. Best Original Screenplay. We talked about that a little bit last week. They lost also to American Beauty. Best Supporting Actress, Catherine Keener.
What?
Lost Angelina Jolie for Girl Interrupted.
That is a weird nomination.
I'll talk about her in the acting score.
Okay.
So I have a good and a bad on that one. But yeah, quite interesting. Do you want to get to scores, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I do like how I just went back on my Google browser and Dunstan Checks In was... That's just going to forever be there. I had forgotten about the existence of that film.
Mighty Joe Young, the other film I talked about.
Yeah, can you think of any other monkey movies? George of the Jungle?
No, that wouldn't count.
Why wouldn't that count? There's tons of monkeys in that movie.
MVP, Most Vertical Primate.
Oh,
MVP, Most Valuable Primate. So there's like a hockey one. There's a skateboarding one. Does he play football? Right.
Probably. It's like Air Bud, but monkey.
Yeah, it's like Air Bud, but monkey.
Air Bud, but monkey.
Okay, so we've already talked about expectations.
King Kong.
That doesn't count. That's too good.
Okay. We only want bad movies.
Yeah, like straight to VHS kind of movies.
Oh. Well, I'll try to do some research for next week.
Okay, well, with the conversation that we're having right now, I feel like my score is going to be higher than your score this week.
Is that what you are anticipating? Because you said earlier, I think I know what your score is going to be for this. Is that the opposite of what you thought, or?
I thought you would like this movie like I like this movie. I didn't think that I would like this movie like you liked Lars and the Real Girl. And you like this movie like I probably liked Lars and the Real Girl.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna make the executive decision, and we're gonna start the scores.
Okay.
We're gonna do acting first.
Okay.
I'll go first because I like the sound of my own voice.
All right. Hit me with it.
I gave acting an 8.5 out of 10. On this one, I really enjoyed Cameron Diaz's performance. Thought it was pretty underrated because, like, the first scene, you're like, oh, she's just kind of there.
Right.
You do not expecting anything from her, but then she develops in such a good way that like she becomes like the main protagonist almost. I wouldn't say there's a protagonist and an antagonist in this movie, but she's the one who kind of develops the most and kind of succeeds the most,
Right.
meets the most people. Catherine Keener's Maxine was a bit of a downer. I didn't really like her on screen too much, and she was on screen quite a bit.
Yeah.
And she definitely didn't deserve to have a happy ending, but she has probably the best happy ending of anybody.
Right.
I don't think she deserved to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
No.
John Cusack was a treat. I thought he was pretty good. John Malkovich, like I said before, he put a lot on the line for this movie, and was really good. He should have gotten more recognition for it. He should have gotten an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, but he did not. Obviously, we love Florist and Dr. Lester. Total nut jobs. 8.5 out of 10. It should have been higher, but Catherine Keener, who was the only one nominated for an Oscar, brought it down.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't like her performance very much. She was kind of like a decently cool character, but she was like a little flat. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like she was clearly trying to be this cool. I don't know really how to word it, but I just found her performance, definitely fell flat. I personally didn't really like Cameron Diaz all that much. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could have just been how the character was written. I didn't think she was a bad actor. I just maybe found her character a little annoying. But I don't think that has to do really with the acting. John Cusack I really liked, and John Malkovich I really liked. Those were very good performances. Especially John Cusack, I thought he was the best performance. For acting, I wasn't definitely not as high as you. I had a 7.5.
This would have been right before Cameron Diaz did Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
like right before.
Yeah.
When you were talking, it reminded me of a few different scenes that I thought were very interesting that I want to discuss with you.
Okay.
One of them, the first one, was when John Cusack had already taken control of John Malkovich, and him and Maxine were in his agent's office talking about becoming a puppeteer, quitting acting, becoming a puppeteer full time.
Yeah.
And the first thing that the agent said, because his receptionist made John Malkovich wait.
Right.
So he called, he made a joke and was like, sorry, she was such a C word to John Malkovich. And then this said the exact same thing to Maxine.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. And then there was a second scene, much like that, before when John Malkovich was still John Malkovich. And he was waiting at the table for Maxine on the date. And some guy comes over. I was like, I really liked you in that movie when you played an R word.
Right.
And then just kept repeating the word.
Yes.
So that happened twice when the joke, the whole scene was just somebody repeating a word. And then before that, even Maxine, when they were in the bar for the first time,
yeah,
she repeated another word, bad word you can't say anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So they did that at least 3 times where they just
Yeah, they kept. Yeah, the scene with like the agent definitely was a standout scene. It was pretty funny, and how, like I said, how people were just so accepting of outlandish things.
yeah.
Where John Malkovich was like, "I just want to be a puppeteer now." And he's like, "Okay, great." It's like no problem.
Let me make some
And
calls.
yeah, basically. And then that scene where the guy came up to him in the restaurant and said, "Oh, I love when you played that role." And I assume that role was he's actually talking about a real role that he did, which was of Mice and Men. Seen that movie or read the book?
Yeah, and I've read the book.
It's a very good book. I haven't seen that his performance so like on film, but I assume that's what they were talking about. But it was kind of a funny parallel between when somebody was like saying he was in that Jewel Thief movie, but he wasn't actually. It was funny, like
Yes.
seeing like because I imagine this is something that's probably happened to him, where someone goes, "Oh, I loved you in that movie where you played this," and he never actually did. And then there's the ones where people where it's like a genuine interaction. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
What did you think about the ending?
Um, it was okay, I guess. I don't know. It's not all that memorable. I'm having a hard time even remembering what happens. Like, I guess all those Dr. Lester and all his friends ultimately get to be in John Malkovich. I guess that's the end, right?
Yes. And then they had the last scene on the beach.
On the beach. There's a scene on the beach.
The big reveal where Craig is stuck in the daughter.
Oh, right.
He's imprisoned and has to watch
Right.
the two of them live happily ever after.
Right. Yeah, I guess I was, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on the end, I suppose. To really stick with me. What about you?
Are you gonna? Well, this is like a rating situation.
Oh, we're given the numbers.
Yeah, I was trying to be subtle about it, but
5.
you're giving it a 5 out of 10.
Yep.
Okay, I give the ending a 9 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was fitting that Craig stuck in the daughter, whose name is Emily, just so you know,
Mm-hmm.
forced to watch Lottie and Maxine live happily ever after, considering he was the one who initially found the portal and escalated it, even though he did have help from Maxine.
Yeah.
Escalated it the way that he did. I do have sympathy for Craig. I wish he did have a better ending.
Yeah.
But like he kind of deserved it. So
He was a little selfish, so part of it was a little rewarding that's kind of what happened to him.
yeah. So like just how weird this movie was. I thought it had to end weird,
Right.
and so that it ended probably as best as it could to kind of finish the movie and not have like is like what's going to happen next. It's a beginning, middle, and an end. So 9 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, well, you better get your score out of 10 out of the way so that I can end this on a good note.
Okay. Yeah, so it was hard for me to get past just seeing this as just like a weird movie. And it just like, I wish there was more substance and for me to sort of latch onto. It was just kind of like, it felt almost like Monty Python, but like in a not as successful way, where Monty Python is just like a bunch of things that aren't really related to each other, but it kind of works. But this one was like, I mean, it was like a basic story, but there were scenes that didn't make any sense, like the monkey flashback scene, or there's other ones. So it just didn't feel very cohesive, and I felt like the comedy at some points was successful, but it didn't really work for me at other times. And so, having said all that, my score is a 6 6.5. I mean, it was pretty good. There were some good moments, but overall, not like I didn't love it.
Okay. Full disclosure, this is the kind of movie that I really enjoy. Just like weird ones that make you go like, wait, why?
Right.
When I was a writer back in my old life, this is the kind of thing that I would write. Like just like the same kind of, I don't know what the word is, but not the theme, but just you know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Well, you don't, but I gave this movie. Okay, so this is quite the parallel from Lars and the Real Girl. That was a Josh movie, episode 22, Lars and the Real Girl. Josh movie that Jesse liked more than, what did you give, like a 9.5 out of 10 or something?
Yep, I did.
And I gave a 7.5 out of 10.
Yep.
So that was like the best movie you've seen.
Yes.
Perhaps this is now the best movie that I've seen on the podcast. And you, not so much, even though this is a Jesse movie.
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Not crazy. And I just said that this is a classic and more people should be talking about it. I think it's just like there's subtle things in this movie that makes it so good.
Yeah.
And enjoyable. And looking back at, I have a list of movies that I've watched over the year.
Mm-hmm.
And this one rates, I'd like to say second or third of the movies that I've seen this year. So as of now, Peanut Butter Falcon is my number one movie of the year, just based off of a different rating scale. I don't know. I don't think I gave Peanut Butter Falcon 9 out of 10.
No, you gave it 8.5, I think.
But just overall, that movie was just a complete number one for me.
Yep.
Number two being John Malkovich. Number three, The French Dispatch.
Oh yeah,
which was a wonderful movie. We should have done that movie on the podcast. I guess we could still, but
we could still. I saw that. I was blessed to see that in theaters. It was quite a good experience.
Just a great movie, but that's not today. Being John Malkovich, 9 out of 10. Good movie.
Well, I'm glad I could pick it for you.
Any final thoughts on BJM, if you will?
It was nice to see our boy John Malkovich again. He was in another film that we liked, wildly different film, Con Air, and he's got one of those. He's just kind of one of those actors that he's like, he stands out. I think that's all I got to say. It's nice seeing him.
Yeah, good. He's kind of a underrated actor, I think.
Yeah,
a lot of weird stuff. That brings us to another segment. Segment 5, which is Trivia of the Week. Normally I put sprinkle trivia in throughout the episode, but today we're doing it at the end.
Its own segment.
Trivia of the Week. And we start with a doozy. The scene when a can is thrown at John Malkovich's head. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It's real. He really got a can thrown at his head.
Oh.
Malkovich has described how Spike Jonze, the director, wanted to cut it due to running late that night, expecting that no one would be able to hit him in the head with a half-full can of beer. When about 70 or 80 sets of hands showed up on the crew saying that they would like to try, eventually the task fell to John Cusack's writing partner, and he nailed it on the first try.
Huh.
And that has been your Trivia of the Week.
Oh, Trivia of the Week. I would give that trivia question a 9 out of 10.
Apparently Catherine Keener disliked her own character.
Oh, really?
Yep. Didn't like it. John Malkovich's real middle name is Gavin, but in the movie his character's middle name is Horatio.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, I doubt that's his real middle name.
John Malkovich's name is said over 103 times in the movie.
Well, that one scene, it really racks up his name. Now, is it counting like when people just say Malkovich? Because there was like that dream, or not, where he like goes into his own portal, and all the people just say Malkovich.
It probably counts that one.
Yeah, that's probably like 2/3 of them right there.
Yep, that has been your trivia of the week for the movie.
10.
The movie, but we have a new segment just before we nod off here. One that I like to call Coffee News Trivia. If you remember Coffee News from any Dairy Queen.
Yep.
Well, I found one online.
Okay.
5 questions.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't have the answers to them. I have no idea what the answers are. Like, I had the answers, but I haven't seen them yet. You have to scroll all the way down.
I see. Okay.
So we can answer both of these.
Let's do it.
Yeah, very exciting. I wanted to incorporate trivia somehow into this, and here we go.
That's a good way to do it. That's harkens back to when we used to go to Dairy Queen when we weren't together.
It harkens for sure. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Question
1. Where is the easternmost point of the Trans-Canada Highway? Eastern. So that's right side of the Trans-Canada of the Canada.
Okay. If I were to guess, I would say it's somewhere on Prince Edward Island.
I would guess somewhere in Newfoundland. I believe Newfoundland is further east than PEI.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna say. I don't know if it's asking for a province or like city, but
I'm just gonna say PEI.
This second question is topical. Number 2, what year did the first Barbie doll debut? There is not a multiple choice. They just want you to know.
If I were to guess,
yeah, that's what you gotta do.
That is what I gotta do. Well, if I were just to guess without any sort of real prior knowledge, it's probably gonna be in the 40s. 30s? No. 40s or 50s. I'm gonna say 47.
I'm gonna say 1953. Okay. Question 3. Who is the author of the novel Alaska? I have no idea. Never heard of it.
I have never heard of that either. I'm just going to say Cormac McCarthy.
Sean Penn. Question 4. What battle did Napoleon fight on Sunday, June 18th, 1815?
Good Lord. I don't know. I don't know my French history, I suppose.
You don't know the Battle of the Bulge?
The Battle of the Bulge?
I think that's a World War II thing, but
I don't know. Waterloo? That sounds right.
Does sound right. Damn. Number 5. A baby alpaca is called what?
Oh, it's got to be a tiny boy. That's my guess. Tiny boy.
It's an alopecia. Okay, so good. Those are fun. Just a quick look at your horoscope. You big Gemini, you. Have your relationships recently been based more on intellect than on feeling? You may be entering a period where this dynamic could shift to more intuitive and emotional bent.
Okay.
Our follower of the week, what month do you think she was born on?
Do you know the answer to this?
I have no idea. No, I just want to.
Probably October.
October. That's
October 12th.
October 12th. Libra. Libras value smooth relationships, sometimes to the detriment of achieving their own goals. But your ambitions may be highlighted right now. Try to weigh the pros and cons of potential endeavors. So yeah, if you want to be our next follower of the week, you can get your horoscope read as well.
So enjoy that, Andrea.
All right, let's just get to the answers. I'll scroll all the way down. Why did the cucumber need a lawyer?
Why?
It was in a pickle. All right.
Of course. So Coffee News just uploads like a PDF of the entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know.
It's literally called a PDF edition of our publication.
Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. I wonder if that's a Vancouver Island exclusive publication. Because, probably no one here knows what that is except Greg. I mean, he's going to know what that is.
Port Alberni, Parksville, Qualicum, North Nanaimo, Central South Nanaimo, Cowichan Valley, Ladysmith, Downtown Victoria, South Saanich, Oak Bay Hillside, Saanich Peninsula, West Shore.
Okay, so it is a Vancouver Island exclusive.
We're looking at the Downtown Victoria one right now.
Okay.
Number one, question number one, answer number one is St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay, you're right.
Well, half right for Newfoundland. Question number two, Barbie, 1959.
Oh, later than I thought. You were pretty close.
53, a little later than I thought. The book Alaska, written by a guy named James A. Missioner.
Of course.
Question number four, Napoleon, 1815. That was the Waterloo Battle. Battle of Waterloo. Good for you.
Oh, okay.
That's 1-1. And baby alpaca is called a tiny boy.
Yes, I knew it.
It's called a cria, C-R-I-A, a cria. More like a cria, because of all the crying.
All the tears. Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
This will be a long episode.
It is a very long episode. When you jam it full of segments, I mean,
look, I wasn't lying. I said it's a jam-packed episode, which is really weighing on one of us, whoever is the sick one. I'm sure they feel.
I'm sure they're like, oh man, I just wish this was over already.
Just want to go to bed, except I don't have to get up early because I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
Right. Do you know the film you're picking for next week?
I do. Thank you for reminding me. I would assume it's one you've never heard of before because it's a 2022 movie.
Oh, that's probably a good call that I wouldn't know it then. Unless it's like Northman or something.
But it is out. I think it actually might still be in theaters some places, but it is out on a streaming site, I believe. So,
okay.
It's a movie that I was a little brag for me. I was at a music festival this past weekend, which is probably why I'm so sick or not sick. And I was, we were in the midst of listening to music, and this is a movie that was. They're like, oh, you should watch this movie. Go into it not knowing anything about it, and it'll blow your mind. So,
I think I might know what it is, and I've been wanting to watch this movie.
It would be amazing if you think it's the movie I'm talking about, but that's something we can discuss later. We'll just leave a nugget. I will tell you that Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie.
Okay. I like me some Jamie Lee. True Lies is the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. She's in that.
True Lies. The Rotten Tomato score on it is also similar, if not better, than a movie we've seen recently with John Malkovich in it. But according to you, it doesn't matter. Rotten Tomato scores mean nothing.
It is definitely the film that I was thinking that it was going to be. And I've been wanting to watch it, so there you
go. Great. Well, we've come to the end of the episode.
We have.
Probably our best yet, so...
It's got to be.
I guess this is goodbye then.
This is goodbye, and now we'll premiere our brand new outro jingle.
No, I don't think we have one of those. I don't know what you're
talking. Right. I dreamt that. I forgot that wasn't real.
Okay, well, bye everybody.
See ya.